Right. All right. Hello, everyone. Before I get started with food as medicine, top health benefits of an alkaline vegetarian diet, I want to introduce Destiny, who is going to be our co-host today, our people wrangler. She is also affiliated with Black Veg. She is our social media manager. If you've ever gone to our Facebook page and you see all the wonderful things that are being posted, she is the one who's guilty of that. And Destiny, feel free to tell them anything else you want the people to know about you.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I am really excited to be here and learn more about this topic today. So thank you, Tony, for having me. Like Tony said, I do manage the social media pages for Black Veg Society. I've been doing it for a year now, and it's been so much fun. I'm able to meet new vegans. We have a bunch of really cool cooking demos on our Facebook page. And if you are ever interested in coming on and cooking with me, I love cooking with people in the kitchen. So feel free to message us. I will add the link to our Facebook page in the comments.
Very nice. I've had the benefit of seeing some of those, and oh, my goodness, flavor, lots of flavor.
Yes.
Okay, so, and I just want to ask you again, am I pinned? I see you.
Yes. It says, let me see. There you go.
Okay, let me talk and see if I pop up. Not sure, I still see you, but I'm going to not worry about that. We'll just keep it rolling. All right, so welcome to Food is Medicine, the top health benefits of an alkaline vegetarian diet, sponsored by Black Veg Society and presented by me, Tony St. Clair of TrueSelf, Total Health. So kudos for taking time to invest in you and your health and wellness. And as always, if you've attended this series of Food is Medicine webinars, my commitment to you is to provide you with a content-rich presentation in a format that's easy to understand and interactive. Now, also know it can be really frustrating to get really great information and then not know how to implement it. So as always, there are going to be tools and resources and a Q&A to guide you and give you a jump start. Now, a few housekeeping issues. We're going to answer questions at the end of the presentation because we want to keep a good flow. This is going into the library for a few of your friends that weren't able to attend. You can post your questions in the chat and Destiny is going to record them for us and make sure that they all get answered. Or you can speak at the end of the webinar by using the raised hand icon and we will open up your mic. Everyone is asked to remain muted to eliminate distractions and presentations. If you forget, Destiny will do that for you. We invite you to complete a short survey at the end of the webinar. Everyone who completes the survey will receive a free holiday survival guide. If you stay to the end, and that is your gift for staying to the end, you're going to receive a link for immediate access to your own pH balance home testing handbook to create a unique bio-individual wellness plan. And finally, everyone who registered will be eligible to participate in the raffle. So if you registered, even if you didn't attend, so I may change that later on because I think you should have some benefit from attending, you will be in a raffle to receive a healthy vegetarian recipe starter guide. All right, lots of valuable information just to show you how much we appreciate you for taking time to play with us today. All right. Moving along, food is medicine. You all have seen this before if you've been following us. Food is medicine. The beauty of food as medicine is that the choice to heal and promote health can begin as soon as the next meal. Just to remind you, food is either nourishing the body or breaking it down. There is no neutral effect. What you eat either improves your health or depletes it. There's no neutral effect again. So real, whole, minimally processed, not food-like substances that many of us try to enjoy that are in packages and boxes, they do not provide nutrients for mental and physical health. Nutrient insufficiencies and deficiencies are the root cause of disease, discomfort, and dissatisfaction with how you look and feel, and can impact the functioning of every system in your body. So nutrition, along with lifestyle practices, will give you what conventional medicine can't or won't, a way to get well, not just feel better. Let's talk a little bit about me and just a very little bit about me. My name is Tony St. Clair Fish, and I'm excited to be your host. I'm a functional health coach, and I'm also a proud founding board member of the Black Veg Society. You can also see that I'm a nutritional endocrinology coach and educator, personal and professional development coach, a raw food chef, an instructor, and a yoga instructor. So all that means is that I am qualified to give this presentation. Let's see, we're moving right along. So a little disclaimer. So I would like you to take the time to read this disclaimer because it's really important. But if you don't want to read it, there are two things I want you to understand regarding the disclaimer to keep you safe. This presentation is meant to be educational only. So it's a sharing of information based on my experience and training or the experience of experts that I rely on. It's not intended as medical advice. I'm not treating, curing, diagnosing any condition or illness. So if you have a condition that requires medical attention, please seek it. State of Maryland frowns on me practicing medicine, so I will not be doing that here. So if you are inspired, though, to implement a change, no matter how small, I want you to share what you're doing with a licensed and qualified healthcare practitioner, especially if you're taking medications or you have a chronic condition. Please do that. So why are you here? I asked that earlier when some of you have popped in early. Maybe you eat a vegan or vegetarian plant-based diet and you're just not feeling optimal. Maybe you're eating more plant-centered and you want to learn how to create a food plan that supports an acid-alkaline balance. Or maybe you're just curious and want to learn more about the pH balance and the health benefits of an alkaline vegetarian diet. You're in the right place. I hope this very short presentation will provide you with sufficient information, resources, and tools, and hopefully inspire you to take action to support your physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional wellness. This topic, although not sexy, is super important. I shared earlier that I'm working with so many clients as a health coach that are vegan, vegetarian, or transitioning, and they're saying, oh my gosh, I feel worse than when I was eating animals. And it's not the plants, it's the food that they're eating or the non-food that they're eating or the combination of the foods that they're eating, or they have digestive issues. But what I found is that most of my clients are junk food vegetarians or junk food vegans. So they're not really eating real food to support their health. And although they may be vegetarian for various reasons like the environment or whatever, we want to make sure that you keep yourself healthy too. And that's why I've decided to do this webinar. Let's talk about what you're going to learn. Well, I'm hoping that you'll learn the health benefits of an alkaline plant-based diet and remove all that confusion. You'll know some health risks and symptoms of high acidity. You'll learn that the top alkaline foods to eat and acidic foods to avoid. You'll learn some lifestyle factors that also impact the acid-alkaline balance. And lastly, you'll also learn how to measure and test your own body's acid-alkaline pH balance so you can create your own bio-individual food plan, because the idea is for you all to be able to take this information and do something with it that will help support your health. While we're talking about that too, I just want to make sure that as you're putting any information in the chat about your own individual health, this is not a HIPAA compliant platform. Please do not leave any personal information about your health. You can ask general questions. And even if you ask a question on the other side of this and it sounds like it is too personal for us to discuss in this forum, I may politely ask you to send a direct message to me or to get back to me later on, just to keep your information private. Okay, although we're a friendly bunch, you don't want your health information out there. Okay, so let's talk about the vegan and vegetarian diet and lifestyle. So both vegans and vegetarian diets are becoming more and more popular. I started on my journey, I want to say, I have to tell my age, about 35 years ago. And back then I was lonely. I'm so happy to see that so many people are now converting to vegan and vegetarian lifestyle, and they also understand the benefits of it. So there are many unique reasons that you might choose to adopt a lifestyle. You might want to prevent cruelty to animals. That's always a good thing. Environmental considerations, a great thing. Or maybe just simply looking to improve your health, maybe to lose weight or reduce the risk of chronic disease. Or maybe you need to effectively balance your hormones. A vegan and vegetarian lifestyle or diet will do that for you. Now, vegan and vegetarian diets can be healthy for anyone at any age, including children and pregnant and lactating women and the elderly. But poorly constructed diets, and we're going to talk about that later, might predispose you to certain nutrient deficiencies and an acid-alkaline imbalance. That's not what you want. So if you're following a vegan or vegetarian diet and you're thinking to do so, or you're thinking of doing so, one way the diet affects your health is through a process called pH or acid-alkaline balance. So when the body's pH is acidic, it supports disease and discomfort. And when it's alkaline, it supports mental, physical, and emotional balance. The body knows how to do that, but sometimes we do things to override it. We'll talk about that a little later. Let's talk about pH. So pH explained. pH is potential of hydrogen. It determines a substance alkalinity or acidity. It's measured on a scale of 0 to 14. The lower the pH, the more acidic the solution. The higher the pH, the more alkaline the solution. A pH of 7 is considered neutral, which means the solution is equally acidic and alkaline. A normal pH balance is 7.4. So this is just a review of what you probably should have learned in a science class. It's just an overview to provide you with a baseline for the discussion that we're going to have later on. So the pH of various organs. So many probably have heard about pH balance. There are various organs that have pH balances that are going to be different than the blood serum. So for example, stomach acid is 1.35 to 3.5. That's highly acidic. It needs to be acidic so that it can break down protein and also some minerals. But pancreatic fluid is 8.8 because it neutralizes that food that's been bathed in acid so that it can be more alkaline when it enters your bloodstream, right? Saliva and urine typically are on the acidic side. They're between 6.4 and 6.8 in a healthy individual. Our discussion is going to be limited to blood serum, which is tightly regulated between 7.35 and 7.45. When your blood becomes too acidic, your body has a fine-tuned physiological response to tightly regulate that. Even if you don't eat enough to support a good balance, it's going to leach from your bones to make sure, because that's how you stay alive. So maybe you'll not be healthy, but you'll be alive because body's only desire is to keep you alive. And so hopefully we will learn something today so that you will not, you won't develop osteoporosis, which is one of the downsides of eating a purely acidic diet when your body has to leach from the bones so much. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the health benefits of an alkaline plant-based diet. This graphic says it all. Basically, you're either heading towards sickness or you're heading towards health. If your body is acidic, even slightly acidic, you're going to start to be on the slippery slope to chronic illness. And if you're alkaline, no illness can reside in a body that is mostly alkaline. So unlike the standard American diet that has many acidic forming influences, including animal products, pasteurized dairy, and processed food, alkaline forming influences include plant-based foods like fruits and vegetables and sprouts and leafy greens and other whole natural plant-based foods. They help your body maintain the proper acid-alkaline balance. Now, when you don't have it, again, it leaches from your bones. It pulls calcium. And that's why many older people, particularly women of a certain age, have osteoporosis, because once you hit menopause, a whole bunch of other things happen, imbalances happen, and the body just can't keep up with that. Many doctors stress the importance of reducing acidity and increasing alkalinity. And I will tell you this is even in allopathic medicine, even doctors understand that an acidic body is a sick body and an alkaline body is a well body. They may not know how to get you there, but they do know. They know that it protects you from disease. So eating an alkaline diet is super important. Now, here's some of the ways that it helps support you. It helps support you by preventing unhealthy microbes and organisms from flourishing. It helps your tissues and organs from being damaged. It helps stop minerals from being depleted. The minerals that you eat that you are using constantly to create that balance when the food itself should do that. And your immune system is not going to be compromised if you're totally alkaline. So again, I don't want to beat this up, but I think it's important to know you cannot have illness, or you can't have illness in an alkaline body, and you can't have wellness in an acid body. If you do nothing else, strive to create alkalinity in your body so that you can remain healthy. Everything else is individual. Now let's talk about health risks and symptoms of high acidity. This is not an all-inclusive list. It does represent the most common that I see in my practice. Osteoporosis and joint pain, we talked about that, and the reason is because your minerals are being leached from your bones. Premature aging, that goes without saying. You're gonna have dry skin, you're gonna have wrinkles, immune deficiency that we talked about earlier, and yeast fungal overgrowth, because that stuff loves to live in the sewer system called acidity. It cannot survive in a body that's alkaline, it just can't. So let's talk about the 5 basic types of what doctors refer to as metabolic acidosis, meaning the body has a poor pH balance. It's working too hard to maintain a proper pH. This presentation is limited to dietary acidosis. We're not going to discuss the other four. We're not even going to mention them because it's just going to confuse you. Like, for example, you get lactic acid. That's from over-exercising. Today, we're simply talking about dietary acidosis, which is just recently being recognized as a legitimate form of acidosis in recent years. So if you're nutritionists, doctors, and talking to you about this, I'm hoping that you have enough information to support yourself in understanding what dietary acidosis is and how you can avoid having that. Minerals are key for overall health and wellness. And if we are eating foods that are rich in minerals, we're going to be alkaline. Minerals are also borrowed from vital organs to keep you alive if your body is more acidic than it needs to be. If the body is working too hard to regulate that tight pH balance between 7.35 and 7.45, if you're eating a whole lot of acidic food and you're still eating minerals, but the minerals can't keep up with it, it's going to leach from your bones. I'm going to say that over and over and over and over again. All right, let's talk about the alkaline foods. And this is from Dr. Russell Jaffe. There are many experts out there, but his approach to balancing the body, I think, is probably as good as I've seen. You may or may not be able to see this chart well, but note that as he goes towards the outer edge, you're showing where foods are more alkaline. And as you get all the way over to the purple, you see that's where you want most of your foods to be. In that purple line where you have limes and nectarines. So anything within this color scheme is going to be good. But I want you to note that it's super important because one of my clients asked me about this. So I thought I would share that with you, that a food's acid or alkaline form and tendency in the body has nothing to do with the actual pH of the food itself. So for example, lemons are very acidic, but when they are processed in the body, they become alkalizing, right? So the end products they produce after digestion and assimilation is what makes the product alkaline. Okay, so likewise, some meat will test as alkaline, particularly if it's grass-fed, but through the process of cooking and all that, it becomes very acidic and you have this acidic ash in your body. So it's important that your daily dietary intake of food naturally acts to balance your pH. So note that limes are more alkalizing than lemons. So I tend to use limes in my water instead of lemons. That's not to say that you can't do that. I'm just saying that if you can get to the far end of the spectrum of alkalinity, the better you'll be. Here's a pro tip. Fruits are highly alkaline, except when they're not ripe. So if you're eating fruit for alkalinity and it's not ripe, you are basically playing for the other team, that it's acidic. So please make sure you eat ripe fruits. Okay. Let's move to the next one. Now we're going to talk about acid foods, the side of the chart that you don't want to be on, 100% anyway. You'll notice that generally foods that are acidic can contribute greatly to the pH imbalance. We talked about that. So it's going to be high sodium foods, processed grains, too much meat and animal protein, added sugar, processed sugar particularly, the chemical, not the stuff you get from fruit, and conventional milk. So I want you to know, don't feel like you have to avoid everything on this chart except those things that are italicized and the things that we mentioned earlier, like the milk and the meat. Because the rule of thumb is you don't have to adhere strictly to this. You just have to make sure at least a greater percentage of your foods are alkaline. So the rule of thumb is 60 to 80% must be alkaline, and then you can eat from this acid chart. Having said that, if you're going to choose from the acid chart, make sure it's real food. So your body doesn't have double duty, right? Trying to figure out, oh my gosh, it's acidic, plus you're not getting any nutrients from it. So you also may know that green tea is classified as acidic, but here's a tip that I do with green tea because it has many, many, many benefits. It's an antioxidant and it does many things in the body, phytonutrients. I add lime to the tea which makes the phytonutrients more bioavailable, and it also reduces the acidity of the tea. So there are things that you can do to balance out your acid-alkaline balance. All right. Let's talk about lifestyle factors that impact the acid-alkaline balance. I am not going to read all this. You're going to get this as a PDF, but I'm just going to point out a few because I think you need to know how important it is that what you do impacts, and not just food. So the number one thing that I see really is alcohol and medicine that will throw off your balance. Alcohol is very acidic. Medicine, I'm not talking about herbs. I'm not talking about supplements that are food-based. I'm talking about actual medicine, has excipients and chemicals in it. And many of us are taking medications of some sort. It's always going to throw your pH off. Always. Pesticides and herbicides that can remain on non-organic food. This is another reason you want to make sure the food is clean that you're putting in your body, right? Non-GMO, preferably you want to eat organic, but if you do decide that, because it can be expensive, although you are worth it, there's a site called EWG, we'll share it on the other side, that talks about the clean 15 and the dirty dozen. So at least make sure that if you're not going to eat organic, that you eat as clean as you can those foods that you are more at risk of consuming the pesticides, like the thin-skinned strawberries and the grapes and such. Now here's another one, then I'll go back to the next slide. Eating lots of processed and refined foods that are high in sodium, added sugar, refined grains, preservatives. These things do not have food in them. They do not. They get you full, but they don't get you nourished, and they're actually breaking your body down. So if any of these things that you're participating in right now, you are subject to doing that's impacting your health, please work towards removing that to the extent that you can. Now, I understand I'm not anti-medication, because if it's going to keep you alive, yes, but work towards balancing the imbalance in your body that's causing you to take the medication so that you can wean yourself off. Now, take a look at it. That's all I'm asking. Now let's go to the next chart. There's more lifestyle factors that impact acid-alkaline balance. Chronic stress. So our thoughts, like the food we eat, are either breaking us down or building us up. Every time you have a negative thought, the body goes through a chemical process of releasing cortisol and adrenaline for no reason at all. And that can cause a pH imbalance. Over-exercising, that's that lactic acid buildup that happens. Many of my clients are trying to outrun their forks. And guess what? They're losing because you cannot over-exercise your way to health. Excess animal meats in the diet from a non-grass-fed source. This I borrowed from Dr. Axe. I don't necessarily believe that you need to eat meat, but we don't discriminate. We meet people where they are. We're saying if you're going to eat, then make sure it's the smallest thing on your plate, make sure it's grass-fed, etc. Don't overeat it. And I guess that's it. And poor chewing habits. Let's talk a little bit about chewing your food. I'm going to tell a little story about a client who came to me who had digestive issues, was eating well, the food wasn't going where it needed to go because she wasn't chewing her food. 75% of your digestion takes place in your mouth. If you don't chew the food properly, it goes through the system unprocessed because the body can't do anything with those big chunks of food. And so you are going to end up not supporting alkalinity. Even if you're eating alkaline food, you're not going to support it because it's not going to go where it needs to go. So it's important that you chew your food. A small but impactful habit. And there's more. So lifestyle factors that impact acid-alkaline balance. Exposure to chemicals, radiation from household cleaners, building materials, computers, cell phones, and microwaves. We are just all exposed to this all the time. I say do the best you can to make your environment as clean as possible. If you can use air filters, if you can leave the window cracked at night when you sleep, if you could not microwave your food because you're zapping all that radiation in it. If you could limit your use of computers or There's a device, I haven't bought it yet, EMF device that will stop the radiation from entering your body. So there are things that you can do. All right, now let's talk about how to measure and test your body's acid-alkaline balance. Well, there are several ways to do it. There's the breath hold test. That's basically you hold your breath. And I have a guide that I'm going to give you that tells you how long you do that. The respiration rate test is how many breaths you can take in a minute. And then there's the salivary pH test and urine pH test. And most people are familiar with that. These are all assessments that can be done at home. So if you want to test your pH levels to determine if your body's pH needs immediate attention, you can use those pH strips. Now, doing so lets you determine your pH factor quickly and easily in the privacy of your home. If your urinary pH fluctuates between 6.0 and 6.5 in the morning and between 6.5 and 7.0 in the evening, your body is functioning within a healthy range. If your saliva remains between 6.5 and 7.5 all day, your body is functioning within a healthy range. The best time to test your pH is about 1 hour before meal and 2 hours after meal. Now, urine testing may indicate how well your body is excreting acids and assimilating minerals, especially calcium and magnesium and sodium and potassium. These are all minerals for life. They function as buffers also for the acidity, the acid food that you eat in the acid lifestyle. Now, buffers, again, are substances that help maintain balance and guard the body against too much acidity or even too much alkalinity. So even with the proper amounts of buffers, levels can become very extreme. And when the body ingests or produces too many of these acid, it must excrete the excess. So if you take in too much acid or even too much alkaline, the body knows how to do its job to get rid of it pretty quickly. Now, the urine is a perfect way for you to measure it. And it's also a perfect way to remove those excesses. I'm going to remind you again, for homeostasis, the blood has to be in a tight range of 7.35 to about 7.45. The body's going to do whatever it can to keep you in that range, including leaching from your bones to do that. So let's stop making the body work so hard. And this testing will allow you to find out how easily your body is able to excrete that and help you to make changes that you need to make in order to preserve your health. Let's talk about the top principles of eating for acid-alkaline balance. There are more, but these are the top ones that I believe that will make the biggest difference in your health. Eat a variety of fresh, whole, organic, plant-based foods. Eat 60 to 80% alkaline forming foods. Eat plenty of fiber and drink plenty of water. So I want you to remember that eating a sufficient level of alkaline forming foods will ensure that you have enough buffer. You want that buffer against those acid forming foods that you're going to eat so that your own minerals won't be depleted or your body won't rob from itself by going into your bones to help your body keep a pH serum of 7.35 to 7.45. Eating fiber, of course, is going to support healthy elimination of toxins. You don't want them recirculating in the body. That's acidic. I think this may go without saying. I mean, I may be overstating this, but I think when I tell people to drink plenty of water, there's a rule of thumb for drinking water, half your body weight in ounces for the most part, more or less if you're eating watery foods or if you're exercising. But please make sure you drink plenty of water. Now let's talk a little bit about water. I hope everybody knows by now that tap water is not safe to drink or to bathe in or to even smell because of all the chemicals in it. Also, drinking water from a plastic bottle, because now we figured out that tap water is not our friend. Most of us go to the store and buy bottled water, which is in plastic. Particularly important if you're a woman to understand that if it's a BPA, a bottle that's BPA, not BPA free, the plastic, when sun hits it or heat hits it, will leach into the water and create something called xenoestrogens, that's fake estrogens. It's toxic to the body and it's also toxic to females. It puts you at estrogen dominance and it's a whole lot of problems that happen with that. So make sure that if you're going to buy bottled water, make sure the water is in a BPA free bottle, and most companies will tell you that the bottles are BPA free. And also you can balance your acid-alkaline balance with just green juices, raw green juices. That's a great way to alkalize the body. And I highly recommend it to people who have digestive issues. If you cannot eat your greens and you cannot eat your alkalinity, you can always do green juices until your body catches up and gets fixed. All right, we're coming to the end where we can answer questions now. So the resources, as promised, the BBSMD survey. Everyone who completes the survey is going to receive a free holiday survival guide. Now, this holiday survival guide has a 3-day reset recipe guide. So you're going to go out, you're going to enjoy yourself, but it helps you to reset so that you can get your body back to healthy before you go too far off the ranch. And I also have a pH balance elixir with chlorophyll. It's delicious. And I also have some good, better, best choices that you can make when you're out there enjoying the holidays without feeling deprived. So the links to the guide are going to be sent out on Tuesday of next week. So make sure you fill out the survey before Monday so that you can have that. And Destiny's going to post all that stuff for us. Now, what I also promised you is assess your own pH balance hormone testing handbook free just for showing up and staying to the end. I hope that you find it useful. It will explain all the stuff that I just told you about those various tests, how to test, when to test, what you're looking for, and how to do the challenge that's associated with it. So to make sure that you can get your pH balance back up. If you are need of supplements, I'm not a big supplements person. I think that if you can get what you need to get from food and your digestive system supports that, then do that first. You can do juices, you can do smoothies, whatever you need to overcome your digestive system. But if you find that you might need some minerals because you know your bones hurt and you might need some trace minerals, please go to my Full Script supplement store. It's a partnership I have with them. I chose them because of the efficacy. There's no excipients, no additional toxins. It's as pure as it's going to be. And then I do a lot of food as medicine webinars, including those that surround digestive health. Someone was telling me earlier about her digestive health. I also do good mood food, so food that you can eat to feel good for the holidays. Or anytime actually, eating right for you, with female hormones. So go to our library and start to looking at those webinars and let us know, comment if you find them useful. And then of course, giving you a PDF of this slide because a lot of the information that you need was actually in the slides themselves and not necessarily coming out of my mouth. So I hope that you find it helpful. If you find that you need some recipes, you can go to Any Greens Necessary. I didn't put that in the guide, but if you just Google Any Greens Necessary, Tracy McKirk, I think is her last name. She has lots and lots of recipes. If you're a follower of the late Dr. Sebi, if you go to his site, tons of information about alkaline acid balance, because this is a subject that anybody who is legitimate in healthcare understands. That you cannot have health in a body that's not properly balanced. And he was big on that. Gosh, are we good now? I think so. Let's see. I raced through that because I'd rather have a conversation with you all. So this is the last webinar for 2021. If you didn't catch the rest of them, please go to the website, go to the YouTube channel and take a look. We're going to continue to provide monthly food as medicine webinars in 2022. The reason that I'm able to do that is because of the generosity of people who fund us, and also because you guys have given us great feedback, either showing up, because that's feedback, or giving us feedback on the survey form. So if you want to continue to see more of these types of webinars, you can also let us know what you want to see too. That survey form will help me to determine what the classes will look like in 2022. And as always, we invite you to visit the Black Veg Society website and sign up to receive updates, because that's the only way you're going to know when we're going to have our next class. I believe the next webinar will probably be in February. Thanks for coming. Questions? Now we get to go to the fun part of it. That was a lot. I felt like I sped through that, but I wanted to make sure I gave enough time for questions. Oops. Okay. So anybody want to raise your hand in chat? All right, so I'm going to ask you all, what was your greatest takeaway from this webinar? What made it worth your while on a Saturday? In some places in the United States, it's very cold, but in some places it's very nice. You could have been out and about. What did you learn today that made it worth your while for coming?
The fact that our bones are leached. Like, I don't think about that much, that it actually like, I almost don't believe you, but I do believe you, you know, like, it's true, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah. It's all over the internet, so that it's science. If your body has to be tightly regulated at homeostasis of 7.35 and 7.45, make sure that you don't recycle early. Right. So it's designed to keep you alive, and it knows that, okay, the bones are where all our minerals live. And so if it needs to balance your system out, it'll pull from the bone. So many of my clients have knee pain, lots of back pain as well, because the body is just leaching from the joints.
You know what? You know what? I'm just writing that because I think what I forgot was that's where our minerals live. And then when you talk about, you know, joint pain, that's about bones. I guess I was thinking more about cartilage and muscle and all that.
Oh.
I forgot that the joint, everything, it is a bone. I think of it more of the soft things, not I forgot about the bones. Isn't that funny?
I know.
You taught me something really important to, like, because I care a lot about my organs and like eating well. I'm a vegetarian, but I forget about my bones. And you know, I'm 59 now. I turned 59 last week. So I better think about my bones and take care of them now, not wait till I'm 80, right?
Oh, absolutely. And they are, I'm just 1 year older than you. And I also, I'm going to do a bone density test because as we age postmenopausal, there are issues with bones. So I encourage you to get a bone density test in addition to doing your own assessment, you know, the urine test and all that to see where you are. Thank you so much for sharing that.
So interesting. I forgot joints are bones.
Thank you.
In keeping with that, I have a question.
Sure.
I have had a couple of bone density tests. Do you think that taking calcium is beneficial or not? Because I'm not osteoporosis, but they put me at osteopenia. And so I was concerned, and I'm already on a plant-based diet, but I probably, you know, I ate a lot of oatmeal and beans and lentils that may be acid producing. I'm not sure, but I will look at that chart again. But what I want to know is, it seems like there's some controversy about whether taking a calcium supplement helps or doesn't help. Do you know?
Yeah, so I can't diagnose, treat, or cure anything, but I will have to tell you based on my research. I forgot to tell you all too, I'm a functional health coach for Capital Integrative Health here in Maryland, and we have lots of practitioners meetings where we talk about this very subject. The problem with dosing one nutrient is that they all kind of work together in symmetry. So if you overdose on something, you're gonna make sure something else is gonna be out of balance, right? So I say, if you're gonna dose, just do a good multivitamin, unless you already know that unless you already know what your calcium level is. And there are blood tests that will determine that, serum tests that will tell you where you are. Now, there is something called Algae Cal as a supplement. The only reason I like it is because it's totally balanced. You don't get all your calcium from that because they don't want you to. You still have to get some from food, but it helps support that balance you may need. And I hope that that helps you. Did I cover that? Was there anything else you asked that I didn't cover?
Well, the thing you said about your blood needs to maintain a certain pH level, I have heard that even a serum or a blood test for calcium isn't necessarily accurate because it's going to pull out of your bones to make your blood right, which is what you just so beautifully explained. Yeah. So you still don't know if it's...
Absolutely. But you can, even with having said that, at any point in time, even if your body is pulling from that, there are going to be markers in your organs and glands that are going to show that you're acidic. So for example, your kidney markers might show, because remember, you have to excrete some of that stuff out. Your blood sugar markers might be a little off. So there are ways that you can determine, and I educate people with blood test readings, by the way. I may do a whole class on that. And if you're interested in learning more, just send me a private chat through my website, and I can set up a 20-minute consultation to find out what testing you might actually need that will support finding out what's going on. There's something.
Oh,
Okay.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It just on the beans and lentils.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused about whether they're good for you. I mean, I know they're good for you in a lot of ways, and that's one of my main sources of protein. Also, I eat a lot. Not a lot, but I eat walnuts, which I know feed my good bacteria. But I read something that said they were acidic, and I'm not sure if beans and lentils are acidic or not.
Yeah. So beans can be acidic, lentils are alkaline. So here's what I want you to know. I don't want you to be overly concerned about acidic food that you're eating in a plant-based way.
Okay.
Just make sure that 60% or to 80% is from the alkaline chart. Does that make sense? If you're doing like lots of leafy greens and all that, just make sure.
I'm not sure it's.
You're not sure it's enough?
Well, no, it's just that my protein source seems to be more from the nuts and the beans and lentils on a vegan diet.
Mm-hmm. It's okay again.
Okay.
Just as long as the ratio is there. And when I say okay, it really depends on your digestive system, making sure that your stomach acid, as we age, the stomach acid goes down. And so we need to make sure that we have proper stomach acid to break down that protein so it can be used properly and it's not excreted out as waste. So there are many ways to get around that. So I'm going to say this to everyone. Food is medicine, but food is also intuition, right? You have a knowing of what feels right, what works right for you. There are many ways of knowing whether or not because some people, they're very acidic because they may have headaches or diarrhea or, all those other symptoms that come from that. You will have a knowing, I suspect, of when your body's not quite right. But I don't want you to be afraid of eating food that is healthy and supporting good health. Because you're eating, like if you're vegetarian, vegan, you're saying, yeah, I like my lentils, I like my beans, but you're also eating veggies. If you're really concerned about whether or not what you're eating is in the proper ratio and is supporting health, there are tests. Do the urine test, do the test, or you can again hit me up on the other side, and I can tell you about other tests that you can do, blood serum tests that like SpectraCell. That's different than a regular blood test, where they get to determine where your nutrient level is. There's a mid-level and you need to be above that midline, or if you're below it, then they'll tell you, okay, you need to adjust your diet. You need to adjust this to have balance. So I don't want you to be afraid of food, right? This is just information to be mindful of it, that balance is always super important. Okay.
We do have a question from Jill. Oh, sorry. We have a question in the comments. Should I read it?
Yes, please.
Okay, cool. It's from Jill. Jill said, when we take the urine and saliva test, how will it show how hard our body is working to make itself alkaline? Yeah, so if you're outside the range, the required range, that's how you know. If you're outside the standard range. Yep. When you use the strip, that's how you know. Got it. We also have a comment from Portia. Mm-hmm. Portia said, it was very interesting to know even building material, cleaning materials, and too much of electronic devices can be acidic. Knowing all of this was worth it. Oh, very good. Thank you. I'm so happy to hear that. Yes. I live for comments like that. Now, the other thing I live for is what are you going to do? That it motivate you to do something, to change something, to modify something, to protect yourself a little better. That would make me really happy. Thank you, Destiny. Any other comments? Did Lisa have another question? Sure. Go for it. Oh, Lisa, I think Lisa was trying to ask a question before, but not sure.
Oh, I did ask a question. Thanks. I'll just say if you eat something, especially with the holidays, that's pretty acidic and you know it is there a way to neutralize it?
Yeah, there is. So you can do chlorophyll, right? That's what greens are in concentrate, right? You can do chlorophyll. That will definitely help. You can do lots of lemon water or lime water. It's highly alkalizing to the body. You can drink raw green juices. Hope that helped. You can always reset. You're only one meal away from resetting. Actually have a client, he's a doctor actually, and he goes out once a month with his friends, and they you know, he says, we eat crap. I know we're going to eat crap, and I prepare my body before I go, I prepare, and afterwards I jump right back into my regular. So, you know, you can always enjoy the food. You don't have to overindulge, just do a good, better, best. And so that you can still feel like you're part. And the holiday survival guide, I don't know, I think if you fill out the survey, you fill out the survey, you get that holiday survival guide that has all the information that I'm talking about. Thank you, Lisa. Any other questions or comments? You guys are pretty active in the chat, looked like. Anybody have any questions, generally speaking, about their vegetarian or vegan diet that they want support on? You've got me and Destiny to answer any questions that you may have. Or maybe tell us what you do well, what you want to share with the rest of the group that's working for you if you're doing a vegetarian or vegan diet, what it resolved for you.
We do have a question about a water filter. Portia asks, can you suggest a good water filter?
I can, but I can't remember the name of it. Most health food stores have it. So you can either go to Whole Foods or a local and ask them for a filter, and I can't think of the name of it to save my life. I have a whole house water filter. That's why I can't remember. Yeah. I hope that that helped. And even with your baths, ladies, you know, you want the shower to be filtered. You want, if you take a bath, they have these little things that you can put in the water. I mean, over top of the faucet, the spigot, because you don't want any of that getting into your body. So don't just filter the water you drink, filter the water that you put in your body too, because we are porous materials.
I think the most common filter that we see at the supermarket is the Brita. Is that the one you were thinking of?
No.
Okay.
But thank you for researching.
Okay, just want to make sure that that's not it.
No, that's not it. At the health food store, I wish I can remember the name. You know what I'll do? I will, I always do a blog after I do these talks. And if there's a question that I didn't wish I could give you a link to, I'm going to put that in the blog, and we'll probably have the blog up in about a week or so. And I will have the name of that and a link. So the water filter, because I like it because it's not just for the sink, but with drinking water, they also have shower filters. They last forever. Some of them even have, you have a place where you can do, what am I thinking of now? And I have it right here. You see, my mind is going, oils, diffusers. Yes, so you can get a nice little diffused oil diffuser with that too. All right. Any other questions? Hope that was satisfactory. Or comments?
Jill said, I eat a vegan diet and it has cleared up my acne and resolved my stomach issues.
Whoop, whoop. Yes. And I, you know, that's the first thing that I saw with myself actually, was the acne that cleared up, and many people, and that just comes from that dairy, that cow's milk is just not good for us. Congratulations on that. I wonder how long it took for you to that to clear up. It usually takes about less than a week of doing that. It doesn't take a long time. Do you want to share that?
Can you hear me?
I can. What a beautiful picture. Hey.
Thank you. I'm not quite sure how long it took. I kind of gradually went into the vegan lifestyle. And I hate using the word vegan because I don't like labels. Conscious
I
eating.
understand. Oh, I like that.
I'm just saying it because, but so just being a conscious eater, I just kind of gradually, withdrew certain things from my diet and substituted things. So I don't really know how long it took. I just know that the first thing I really noticed was my stomach, because I used to always have like a stomach ache or something wrong with my stomach or pain or something going on after I would eat all the time. And I just thought that that's just from being full or eating or whatever. And then once I stopped eating certain things, it just got better and better and better. And then I noticed my skin got a lot better too. So, and that's also the first thing. My skin is the first, my skin and my stomach are the first things too. If I eat something bad, or my stomach will always tell me if I ate something I shouldn't have. So like what you said about paying attention to your body, it is so true. Yes, like I'll get a pimple somewhere, my stomach will hurt, if something will be off. And that is a telltale sign for me. Okay, you shouldn't have ate those Oreos. Yeah, they're vegan, but you shouldn't have them.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to stop. Speaking of sharing, I'm going to stop the share so I can see everyone and everyone can see me. There we are. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jill. Yes. A couple of good things that I heard there was, yes, paying attention to your body, recognizing that you can gradually make these changes. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. And you will slowly but surely, it's just like one day, like, wow, I just noticed that. As far as digestion is concerned, yes, if you're having stomach problems, what you ate did not love you back. It's time to stop doing it. Yeah. Very good.
Since I'm talking to you, since I'm on right now, real quick, what about taking probiotic or prebiotic? What's your take on that?
Ask me a specific question.
Okay, so I noticed that when I take a probiotic, it helps my skin even more. And it helps, I just feel like it helps with the yeast. Even though I don't eat a whole lot, well, I do kind of like sugar. I got off sugar, got back on, got off, got back on. Sugar is a whole nother topic, but I feel like it helps with things. And is it okay to continually take probiotic? Just take it every day, all the time, or should I give my body a break from it?
Okay, can't give medical advice, but I'm going to give you a suggestion and what I tell my clients. So, if you're going to do probiotics in fermented foods, you can eat as much as you want because it's probiotic and prebiotic, and it has its own food, and it will colonize differently in your system. If you're taking a probiotic pill, I always say colonize and then back off for a month, and then eat real food.
Okay, so
how your body responds.
So you tell them to take it for how long before they come off?
I would say maybe a couple of weeks, and then just eat some supplement with probiotic rich foods.
Okay.
Unless you're under the care of a doctor and they're doing that specifically to support you. I think that if you can get your fermentation in through probiotic rich foods, that's always better. Remember, the body is designed for food, nothing else. Everything else is foreign. It has to figure out what to do with it, and then it doesn't always know how to do. You might get a little bit of what you need from it because it's hardwired for food.
Right.
Yeah,
that's true. So is it just a serving a day of fermented food that a person would need?
Yeah, I'd say eat as much as you want, as long as it loves you back. Again, if you have, histamine issues and all that, and I can talk to you offline about that, I would have to know you as a person and know how your digestive system is working, particularly your small intestines. There's certain types of fermented food you might not be able to do. So I would love to have a 20-minute free consultation chat with you. I'm only doing 5 of those. So the first 5 people that get in, you're in. I want to talk to you on the other side because we're getting more into your personal health, and I want to keep you protected. Is that okay?
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
I do see another question. This one says, what about berries? I heard that they are acidic, but are they good for you? Thanks for your comments. These are very helpful.
Yeah. So berries, I've not heard that they were acidic. I think they're alkaline. They may be more on the left part, like the beginning of the chart, not necessarily to the far right of the chart. I would say anything that's not ripe is not going to be alkalizing to the body. Now, remember, you don't want to just start taking food out of your diet that have a full spectrum of nutrients that you need, right? So think the rainbow, right? Eat the berries, do some greens, right? We're not going to label food as bad unless it's not food or if it's food that's not good for you. So balance, it's all about balance. Hope that helped. But they're definitely good for you. Phytonutrients, antioxidants, stop you from rusting out so soon. Okay, anything else? I'm so happy that you all came today. I won't keep you much longer, but I just want to remind you again, please complete the survey forms. I want to do better. I want to be better. So feel free to say whatever comes to your heart. If you got something wonderful out of this and it benefited you, let us know. If there's something you wish we could have covered, we didn't, let me know. If you want a topic covered in 2022 or several topics, now's the time to put your bid in. So do the survey form and get the holiday survival guide once you do that. I also would ask you all, so that this investment of time means something to you, just reflect on what you heard and ask yourself, what is the one thing that I am going to do, commit to do to improve my health in an acid-alkaline way? What's the one small thing that you can do? Is it drinking more water? That's an easy thing to do. Is it just looking at the ratio of my food and making sure that I have that 60 to 80% ratio? The reason I'm pushing this area, honestly, is because, again, I coach. I'm a health coach. I'm also a consultant, a nutritional endocrinology practitioner. And I'm seeing this come up more than I like, where I have vegetarians and vegans that are coming to me telling me that plant-based foods are not good for them. Not true. It's because they're eating junk food or because they're eating too much acidic food. So I want you to stay healthy. I want you to continue to enjoy eating a plant-based diet. I want you to listen to your body, and I want you to get the help that you need and make some changes. So even if you're not going to share with me, just commit to do one small thing and just notice, like Jill just said, like, I wonder how that feels in my body. How's that settling in? And if you need more help, I take clients on a very limited basis because I'm super busy working with the practice in Bethesda. But if you found that you need more help than what is available here with this little short webinar, I want you to reach out to me. Okay, I don't want anybody to feel isolated or alone. Anything else? All right. Well, with that, I'm going to wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. Please use it as an opportunity to connect with your friends and not stretch your stomachs out. Enjoy the food, don't overindulge, and we'll see you in 2022 unless you guys reach out to me sooner than that. I want to thank my co-host, Miss Destiny. Woo, 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 woo. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Everyone have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And again, thanks for coming. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.